Morena from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and welcome to Guardians of GAIA, space in cyberspace, a place in cyberspace where guardians gather on new moons and full moons in offer of service to our planet and humanity. And today is a very beautiful new moon on the lead up just days before our equinox, our March equinox. And equinox is actually meaning equal night. So it's an extraordinary invitation for us to pause. For while the sun crosses the equator, we have equal day and equal night throughout the planet. And it's an invitation for us to rest and reset. And for those of us that are subscribed to the Gregorian calendar, the Gregorian calendar is a calendar that actually disconnects us from the synchrony of our cycles and seasons on the planet. So it's really important at this time when there's so much disconnection and disassociation that we take these opportunities to reset, recalibrate, and reorientate to nature, which we are, to the seasons and cycles of life. And it's a prime time for us to be outside on the earth, in her waters, and making the most of this particular quality of light that enters the field, the planetary field, on the equinox, because that is the light that informs our system that we're either about to enter a winter cycle or a summer cycle, that we're preparing for autumn or we're preparing for spring. And that light that informs us informs the biomagic, the biomancy of our bodies. So that's what sustains us through the dark. That's what infuses us through the light, whatever cycle we're stepping into right now. And not only are we stepping into personal cycles and planetary cycles, we're stepping into solar and galactic cycles at this time. We've had a huge influx of CMEs, coronal mass ejection, or solar flares at this time of equinox that's entering our planetary field. We're going through leaving Pisces and entering Aries in the astrological calendar means the end and the beginning. And we've known since we walked in Egypt through our ancient future in September equinox, it was very specifically guided that we would go through a birth canal each solar point on the cross and on the cross quarters. So that's our September equinox, our December solstice. We're now entering through the March equinox in preparation for the birth at Easter time. So there's a lot of preparation that's gone into today's journey, and it feels like an important moment for our planet and humanity to choose consciously of the reality that we're creating. So today's offering that's going to come through B is a closing of the bones, on the old cycles, on the cycles that are looping and repeating on the planet, so that something new and true may be birthed. So thank you all that are gathering with us here today for this journey. And on that note, we're going to have some fractals coming through from Stephanie Elaine and an opening for Casey before I introduce you to B.
Thank you, everyone. We'll begin by opening the field together, allowing those codes that we just received to begin to drop into our field more fully, allowing our systems to integrate the light codes, the acceleration, and the templating that is available through the light coding systems. We welcome you into the field at this time as we begin our expansion, stepping into the fullness of the universal fields. We welcome you to anchor into this level. We are excited to meet with you today. We thank you for coming and showing up fully. Today is a very important day and another shift in the timeline where the old codes are merging with the new. And we are fleshing out the old systems. We are ready at this time to archive some of the old templating that we have used up until this point, with an understanding that time changes all things, and we are beginning to enter into the space of the time between time, the time of all things, the universal time coding. We allow our systems to accelerate and to level up to this field, opening up our light body systems and allowing them to receive the coding that is available at this time. With so much gratitude, we give for the human journey on the earth that has taken place up until now. All the historical moments that have brought us until this now moment. We welcome you into this field of gratitude, witnessing all of the levels of evolution that the humans have walked through until reaching this point. We are asking you now to walk into the field of light, to begin to allow yourselves to shift and merge. This is a choice point, a closing of one door and opening up of another. Stepping out of the system of cycles completely and allowing something completely new to emerge in the field. We welcome you into this new field. It is exciting. And it has something for each one of you that you have not yet walked through. The systems of light that are yet to be written. The human records that are waiting to be encoded in light systems. This is a brand new shift and change out of the old. And once we are anchored here, we allow the old systems to dissolve completely. It's a new way of anchoring to the earth, to our bodies, to the cosmic plane. This is a process that you have not yet walked through in the experience of being a human. We recognize that this is something new for you. And we invite you to step into the field of possibility, into the field of the unknown, where there are no limits. This is the greatest expanse that you can experience through the human system. And it requires a shift of your DNA patterning in your bodies, a shift in your structural recognition and interpretation of light, a recoding and a reprocessing of the systems, and a rebalancing of energy transmitted into light. We invite you to step more fully into this field. And we are excited for this journey to continue among the circle that has arrived today. Please hold this expansive field as you anchor more fully into your human selves, allowing the light coding to continue to restructure and inform your system, allowing you to hold this expansive field and stay present. There are more light coding symbols that wish to come forward at this time to help the integration and flow. If you are ready, anchoring back into your physical body and choosing to come in fully at this time.
Thank you, Casey. And speaking into time, when we talk about our Gregorian calendar that actually disconnects us from our natural rhythms, cycles, and seasons, there are still calendars on the earth that are in sync with these cycles. And what comes to mind and what's to be mentioned today is Nyepi, which is celebrated in the ancient Vedic calendar on this day, which is actually also recognized as Bali's New Year. So the weeks leading up to Nyepi, which the big festival time was last night, the communities prepare enormous, what they call ogres. The demons of the underworld are actually created in huge physical representations. And last night, or at sunset yesterday in Bali, these were paraded through the streets and then taken and burnt outside the temples. In this culture that holds some of the oldest Hindu traditions on our earth still. And they're also a culture where their spirituality is deeply integrated into their everyday life. It's not separate. There is time of ceremony, specific ceremony, yet every day is a ceremony. And it's an area where the dimensions are all honored, the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world, and therefore fed consciousness and therefore grown. So on the eve of Nyepi, all of the ogres are burnt, and the priests of the temples go round and cleanse and clear and purify. And then Bali closes for 24 hours. There are no international flights. Tourists are invited to stay in their hotels, not go out on the streets. Everyone goes home. It's a day of silence, a day of fasting, and a time of introspection, and an enormous reset. It's actually an extraordinary time to be in Bali, Indonesia at this time, because of such a densely populated island that goes into complete peace. And it felt important to honor those ancient traditions that are still honoring the seasons and cycles, that support us, nurture us, connect us, and therefore open us to the full potential available in our evolutionary passage at this time. So that one wanted to be mentioned. And the other mention is, while Casey was on, we heard when the fractals, Stephanie's fractals were coming through, and at the close of Casey's, the dog barking. And the other aspect that wishes to be mentioned here is what came to my awareness was the dog star of Sirius. And when we're talking about this turning over of time, we're also turning over of the handing over of space-time management on our planet. And this is the reason that many of our indigenous cultures are orientated around the Pleiadian star system and the significance of the incoming Sirian system, and why the Pleiadian Sirian system the Pleiadian Sirian alliance was created to support this handing over of time, and this turning over of time on our earth. So even more the reason why we're here today for a closing of the bones with Rebecca B. Gunson. And it's an absolute gift and a pleasure to introduce B, who really we first connected on the dance floor of Bali when I was guided to work with women on all continents in 2015. And B came to that first women's work in Asia, in Bali, Indonesia. And on that note, it is wonderful to witness the walk that B has been on since that time, and a celebration as I hand you over to her now for the rest of our journey today. Thank you, B. B, are you there, darling?
She said she was dropping out a bit, so maybe she's got like slow internet.
Isn't it interesting? Be still with us, but yes. So let's just feel, is there anything else that wants to come through right now?
She just
Let's
lost
just,
us. How about if while we wait, I show them
yeah.
the other fractal,
Um,
and then
Oh
there
no,
she
there you
is.
go.
Got it.
I'm at my elder's land base and the internet is cutting out, so I'm back on my personal Wi-Fi now, so it should be okay. Thank you for your patience. Would you like me to
We're
begin?
handing over to you now, darling.
Yeah,
I gave you the introduction while you were while you were sorting out your Wi-Fi. So
thank you.
all yours.
Mm. Well, kia ora everybody. Hello from Aotearoa. I am resting beside the awa, the river Tarariki. It is the home and the meeting house for many of our family, our whānau here in Aotearoa, water carriers, gardeners, lovers of the seed. I'm with one of my teachers, Mike O'Donnell. This is his land base, and it was quite synchronistic that I shared with Leanne I was to be here. This has been a training ground, a home, a space for my spirit to receive the deep Te Ao Māori and pagan Celtic interweaving and feel my roots really rest deep down into this land, this whenua. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you about the wrapping of the bones. Physically with the work that I do with mamas, and also with this deeper energetic closing and welcoming the new. And I felt to sing a song to open that Mike gifted me around us remembering the wisdom of the old and receiving the wisdom of the new. So I hope my voice is received online right now, and if it's jolty or not quite coming through, just allow the vibration and the frequency of it. You can close your eyes or gaze out to the bush, the ngahere, or the water, wherever you may be. So yeah, I will begin to sing to you. This is the seed, I am the seed carrier. This is the garden, I am the gardener. Do you remember? Do you remember me? We are the children of the future. We are given the seed to hold. We are the children of the past, carrying the wisdom of the old. Do you remember? Do you remember me? This is the seed, I am the seed carrier. This is the garden, I am the gardener. Do you remember? Do you remember me? We are the children of the future. We are given the seed to hold. We are the children of the past, carrying the wisdom of the old. Do you remember? Do you remember me? Do you remember? Do you remember me? Aio ki te aorangi, aio ki te aroha, aio ki te pono, aio ki te ko. That translates from Te Ao Māori, from Te Reo, into peace of the universe, love of the universe, truth of the universe, and joy of the universe. And that was from Te Rangi Māori e Rose Pere, a beautiful wisdom keeper that walked these lands and shared her songs. Where to begin? Oh. Well, I will begin here at Tadariki, where I received a seed stone from Mike. And we were in the kitchen. We spend a lot of time in the kitchen cooking and brewing and making beautiful teas, soups. And we sit and gather around this table, which is very close to me right now, and swap stories, share wisdom. And I remember this moment where I was in a feeling of grief, and I now feel that I can celebrate that as my waters are offered back. And he looked at me with this Pounamu greenstone hook, and he said, "Don't forget you are a midwife." And I kind of was like, "I'm not a midwife. I don't work as a midwife in a hospital, you know." My perception of a midwife through my journey. And I went through a big cracking here. I had a great love, a great union, and it put me face down into the moist soil. where I felt totally lost and open and vulnerable and curious. And I went back to my motu, my island, Waiheke, where I lived for 6 years before I went on this journey with this Tane, this brother. And I got a bell tent there, and I just let myself merge into the earth and into stillness and into listening for a 3-month container. And this beautiful bell tent was beside the ocean and underneath a pūrere tree. And I rested there, and I would walk with my candle into the dark tent, and listen to the solfeggio womb music, and just sink deeper and deeper and deeper into that delicious space of void that I've come to know and love, into that womb dark. And I spent a lot of time singing and praying, making offerings to the pūrere and listening to the waves as I would go to sleep and wake up in the morning. And that feeling for me, when my field can really let go and expand, like I had so much space to travel. Such a relief to be there in that space where the field can just go, ah. And the dreams started coming. The dreams and the womb started feeling really activated, almost pulsing with an intense amount of energy, an aching feeling, I would say. And I just kept listening and asking, where to next, where to next? And I want to side loop to a journey that I went to Uluru. My beautiful father, he experiences life as the manu, as the bird. He's a pilot. I grew up flying with him. I grew up feeling the feeling of being able to lift up from the earth and fly through the sky with my dad and look down upon the earth and the waterways and the amazing bush, and also the land that is dry and grassed and used for agriculture. We have a big farming community here in Aotearoa. And so he said to me, I want to fly across Australia. And I said, I'm coming. And knowing what I know now, I would have entered that land differently. But I just went on this adventure with my father and my sister, who is also a midwife, in more of a physical sense. And as we descended in the plane to Uluru, I received a lot of what I would feel waves of light and songs. And I was doing my karakia and my own song. Karakia in Te Ao Māori is prayer. And my dad and my sister had their headphones on, taking photos, and I just said to them, I can't talk right now. I really need to be in what I'm in. And so as we descended down to beside Uluru, there was a lot of energy and tears coming through my field, a lot of emotion. And as we landed, I moved out of the plane, put my forehead to the earth, and I realized I'd come home in some way. That life may not quite be the same after that. And I guess the feeling that I had was this feeling of red ochre earth kind of moving through my body, moving through my womb. And I just had to move very slowly. I could hardly could hardly move, actually. It was a very dense vibratory landing and oomph. And I met this beautiful Aboriginal friend before I went that said, just let yourself listen and say, Awan, Awan, I am listening, I'm here. And so I went on this pilgrimage, walking to Uluru, which you're not legally meant to do, but I felt the call to do that and sing and pray. And the codes that came through were, for me, it's time to reclaim birth as sacred and come back to these ways of women birthing on the earth and together, and with the song and with the prayer, and it's time for you to step in and support this process of reclamation and remembering. So that was a really beautiful kind of initiation into listening to what was being asked of me. And I had a beautiful, well, so many songs, just so many songs coming through. Like, I really was like, man, I really need to go back here with some other listeners, because navigating the amount of energy and the ley lines coming through. And actually, I was reading a phenomenal book called Song Spirals by a group of Aboriginal women from Arnhem Land, who really broke down the intricacies of the perception of the song lines and how they pass those songs down through their line. You know, you have the mob that are holding the snake song or the whale song, and it's a very intricate way that it's transmitted and passed down. So I just was listening in such humbleness as I was reading this book through flying across these lands. But the song that came through me was about giving it came to me as give the Indigenous woman back her voice, and that could be the medicine woman, the birthing woman, and about reclaiming birth as sacred again. And I'm working on that song as something to share perhaps one day. But that opening then led me to being in this bell tent and remembering the codes from Uluru, and sitting back in my grief and in my spaciousness, and the pulsating feeling of going to Lake Atitlan, and training with the Mayan midwives, because I have a very dear friend, Annika, who also was in Bali around the same time. That was a timeline later. She had given birth with these Mayan midwives, and so it really activated something very deep in me. And during that time, I had stepped into a role of supporting my friends, my sisters, in their prenatal and postpartum, and feeling something doesn't feel right here. My body's a little bit confused as to why the women are kind of moved into the home on their own. There's diagnoses of postpartum depression, anxiety, psychosis, and I felt really challenged by that, because I remember in my bones what it was like to gather together and support the body to recover and feel held, and that birth is a immense rites of passage and an immense opening that a woman goes to receive this spirit to come to the earth. And I really decided through this listening that postpartum would be what I would focus on in the birth stage, because I saw it as a death. I was seeing a lot of women really go through an immense death in that phase, and that when we die well and we're held well in death, it has immense opportunity for more space and growth and a new timeline to emerge. And so I decided that I wanted to work. I don't learn super well through the Western templates of teaching, and like if you do a doula training, a physical doula training, there's all these modules and it's online and you're doing all this content and the practicum, and I learned so much through transmission and through sitting in circle and feeling the codes of those that have been holding this wisdom. So I went. I booked my flights. I started to research what it would be like to do a postpartum doula training in Guatemala with these particular Mayan midwives that are holding this school called the Midwifery Project. They work very much together, and they all hold different poses with absolute intricacy and wisdom, from cacao to tobacco ceremony, to the fajas, the womb belts, to the tu, the sweat lodge, to the Mayan abdominal massage, to the bone healers, to those that are holding the kai and the garden and the herbs and the yoni steaming. And I really felt the call to learn this piece called the wrapping of the bones. And I'd never heard really anybody that I had known in my field had been receiving this practice. Now I know there's some amazing midwives in Aotearoa, and I imagine all across the world that are initiated into working with this. And my best friend Andrea, she holds Temazcal, Mexican sweat lodge on Waiheke. So I already had spent many years with her working in the lodge, working with the songs, working with tobacco, and understanding the importance of coming into the dark to reset, coming into that space of listening, and feeling that the songs are not something that are needed to be performed, but that you are the kaitiaki of these songs that come through and have these messages when we're in circle and we're in ceremony in the lodge together. And so I felt this deep connection to her with Mexico, and she's really supported me and affied me to do that. And I entered actually into Mexico City with her, and then we went and did the moon dance together. It was her 9th year, and I met some phenomenal doulas and midwives. I mean, those Mexican women are full power, no waffle, just straight in there. And those matriarchal leaders, like the grandmother, she's in her 80s, and she is, as she's instructing and listening to a whole field of 350 to 400 women dancing and praying. And we had 70, 60 Temazcal lodges. So that was my entry point into those lands, was that ceremony. And I felt like I needed to go there before I went to Guatemala, because I just felt like it had supported me to move some patterns within myself before receiving the wisdom in Guatemala. And, the wrapping of the bones is all over South and Central, Chile, Guatemala, Peru, Mexico. There's a lot of women that are holding what I feel this really deep womb-centered intelligence and really understand how to support the body to come out of a deep space like birth. And so I'm just tracking back to my journey there. I worked with Mariu, who is a phenomenal Mayan midwife, and we worked every 2 weeks together. Going to Guatemala on Sunday. Oh, many blessings. So Mariu lives in San Marcos near Sunana, which is where I stayed in Sunana. It was really beautiful to be slightly out of the central part of San Marcos, it's quite a destination for the New Age spiritual community. A lot of people coming from all over the world to practice yoga, and I just felt I'm going to really focus on working with the grandmothers, and just my Western mind kind of, sat down thinking it was going to be a lot of uh, informational kind of content of the postpartum doula and role, and I had to adjust again even more deeply into the spaciousness. Like, things run in their own time there. And it was a lot about first receiving myself. So I had numerous mind abdominal massages and wrapping of the bones myself, and I felt like I was wrapping myself back in after the opening and the receiving of the downloads, and really coming back into it. Felt very reverent, like it felt like such an honoring. It felt like it felt like a practice that had been done in Egypt as well, that she had shared. It's like the mummification. It's got that same feeling. And when you're wrapped, it almost feels claustrophobic or tense. And I guess I can relate this to when we come into the stillness or the rest. It can feel like quite painful to be kind of wrapped in and coiled in. And I reflect on where I've been at the past couple of days of feeling actually a lot of emotional pain, and noticing how I kind of wrap my wings in and kind of hold myself in because of the desire to really go into the yin space. And so I actually feel now that I would like to take you through a somatic practice of a feeling of what I experienced with the wrapping and the bathing and the temazcal. So we can just travel into that space a little bit. I know I've talked and introduced, but I feel now to go into a practice so you can receive what this medicine may have for you. How does that feel? Okay. So inviting you to close down your eyes. Also just letting you know I have my elder Mike that's come back, and he might be in the background somehow, but he knows I'm on this call. And just letting yourself let your sit bones relax wherever you may be sitting right now. You might even feel that you want to lie down somewhere horizontally. Just going to give you some space to choose where you need to be right now. And I'm first going to take you into the two, into the womb. So I want you to now imagine that you are standing at the doorway to the lodge, to the two. standing very humbly with a deep desire to enter the dark for deep nourishment. And perhaps you have a prayer or a plant offering before you go into this space. And I invite you to bring one hand to womb and one hand to heart. And I want you to feel what you have given birth to recently as you are standing here at the door of the lodge. That may be a child, a project, an aspect of yourself, and really letting yourself celebrate the immense birthing that you have been through, the immense opening. And feel this desire to be honored for that. Not in a need for validation, but just in a recognition of the energy that it took in your body and your spirit to open that fully. And then in this too, there inside is a grandmother waiting for your arrival. And she says it's time for you to enter now. So you offer this prayer bundle of herbs or this song at the foot of the two. You bow your forehead and you enter into the dark. And I want you just to feel the sensation of what it's like to sit in this dark igloo lodge space. What is emerging for you? How it feels to sit in the dark. And as you recognize that you are sitting in the dark, the steam and the heat from the lodge start to fill your bones, really as though you're eating the most nourishing kai. It's just really infusing your bones and your cells with this delicious steam, this delicious heat. It's like you're being filled with so much nourishment, kai, food. And you relax into this a little bit more. And perhaps some feelings of grief arise, or claustrophobia, or depletion, that you've been so craving to sit in this space. And then the grandmother starts to bathe you in a brew of medicinal plants that she's been heating on the stove for 12 hours, infusing prayer, previously foraging from her lands, and these herbs sit in this tub, and she starts to wash you and bathe you. And she starts at your heart and bathes you in this beautiful plant medicine. And she lifts the cloth up to your head, and it trickles down through your head and your face and down through your lips and down through your body. And she just continues to wash and bathe you, cleansing you, honoring you, and just continually feel where you want to be bathed by these waters. And feel what it's like to be loved so much in the honoring of your birthing. And she starts to lay you down. And she places her hands on your belly, honoring your womb or your dantian as a man, honoring all that you have birthed, all that you have given, and all that you have opened to. She starts to massage your belly, giving it love and honoring it, preparing it to be closed for this initial phase of birth. And you receive her hands, these ancient hands that have touched many wombs, understanding the wisdom and the sacredness of this space. And she sings the butterfly song, Yo Yo Papalo. And once she's washed and bathed you, she shares it's time to come out of the lodge, to be wrapped. And you slowly walk out of the two. Slowly, slowly, you rise up from where you have been laying, thanking the grandmother. Slowly, slowly coming out of the two as though you are in your rebirthing phase. And you find a bed of beautiful hand-woven rugs on the earth. And there is another two grandmothers there greeting you. And you stand feeling honored by them, and they smudge tobacco all over you again, cleansing and purifying anything that has clenched or held from the birthing process. And reading the tobacco and giving you the message that you need before you are wrapped, before you are cocooned, before you enter your death. And they lay you down on these rugs, these hand-woven rebozos that have been woven through generations of women that have sat together to weave and coding and colour and prayer. And you lie down and feel such relief and release. And then they start to rock you. They start to rock you with the whahas underneath you, one on each side rocking you. You might even feel physically that you want to rock side to side, having this imprint of the great Mother Ocean rocking you back like a child. And slowing down the rock, they start to work with different parts of your body. Your legs, lifting your legs up and shaking and rocking them, releasing tension. Coming up into the hips and the pelvis and rocking and shaking and jimmying what is stagnant and also allowing the spaciousness of what is alive. And they move through your body with this beautiful rocking, releasing, And they look at you with so much love and devotion. And you feel it is ready, it is your time to be wrapped. And you go back and feel again what you had open to already. And what you are now closing. So feeling into what you are closing before you become wrapped. For the birthing mother, it may be the womb space for some time as she still integrates her birth journey. For many of us as guardians of the earth, it may be a particular chapter of what we have given in service to. And then slowly you are wrapped from the feet. And so these grandmothers start to wrap you with the robozo, starting with your feet until you are sealed in the feet. However that may show up for you in your visualization of this. Then coming into the knees. And the knees are rocked, and then one robozo comes over, and then another robozo comes over as these grandmothers weave you back into yourself. And you're feeling what it's like from the feet up to be clothed in darkness and love. And the wrapping starts now around your hips and your pelvis. And they intricately wrap your pelvis and honor the immensity of what your body temple has just been through. And they weave their aroha into this space, and they wrap you with so much devotion so that your pelvis and your hips and all the sexual centers can rest. And then they come to your belly, and they both place their hands on your belly, and they let you breathe into their hands. And they feel and see where your womb alignment is, where your womb pulse is, and they may feel guided to allow your pulse, your heart of your stomach to realign back down into the space above the belly button. You may feel energetically that there is this pulse that just slowly starts to move back down into the space above your belly button where it rests, where you feel still and anchored and home. And letting yourself feel this pulse, this heartbeat of the stomach, this center, this central heartbeat channel. And they don't rush, they stay very present with you. And now it is time for you to receive your faha, your womb belt, this womb belt of protection, of honoring, of reverence to support your lower back and to support all of the ligaments and everything to come back in. The energy is all coming back into your center. You perhaps now want to call forth any energy that has been dissipated through various projects or relationships, and I want you to imagine that you're drawing back all of your energy back into you, back into your womb center, back into the pulse of the stomach. And you're breathing and beating with this energy. And you're feeling her. You're feeling your womb. You're listening to her. And then the grandmothers slowly wrap your womb, your belly, and this whaha, yourself wind back in. And the immense feeling of being held by this whaha, this material of medicine. And you're being wrapped and rolled and coiled back in. And you take a deep breath in and out, home, void, infinite space of love and presence. And then they slowly come up to wrap your shoulders, and your hands are placed over you, your arms like a cross. Like when you curl in and hug yourself, your arms are tightly over your body and over your heart. And then they slowly wrap your shoulders and wrap your arms in. And at this point, there may be a feeling of wanting to break out and break free. And you let yourself rest back down into the containment of the rebozo. You let yourself breathe down into the space of being contained and held. And then there comes the relief of that, where you just let go and surrender that bit more, much more. And you realize that you are safe in this holding. You are safe in this cocoon, this coat of the dark. And they come up to your head, to your eyes, to your crown. The grandmothers slowly move up here. And there may be a nervousness to fully be enmeshed in the black, but you feel so held and safe with these grandmothers. You know it's okay to visit the black water. And so they start to wrap around your head and your eyes. You still have space to breathe through your nose and your mouth as they slowly weave, supporting, allowing the crown, allowing that channel to just have some peace and quiet, a break, a respite, a breath. And you are now fully wrapped. And you let yourself sink down a little bit deeper into the tapestries of those spaces in between where you feel the presence of the ancestral wisdom of the bones being wrapped. You may feel a song wash over you. And you feel as you lie here, generations of women that have given birth to their gifts, to children, to new timelines. You feel your ancestral line, those weaving that have come before. And you feel the gratitude of all those grandmothers and medicine women, medicine men all over the world, praying. And let yourself in this last moment feel the tapestries of the weaving, of the whahas and the weaving of worlds you have been opening to. And you feel the deliciousness of honoring that chapter, that pathway. And the beauty of sitting in this dark space of rest. And perhaps you do not know where you're walking to from here, and the downloads have not come, but you feel ready to step back out into the light. And so slowly the grandmothers start back unwrapping you at your feet. And each body part starts to breathe a new lease of light as you are unwrapped from the feet. Slowly coming up, unwrapping the knees. And as you're unwrapped, it's almost like your body is like opening out, like curling out. It's like receiving the light of the sun. You may feel that your skin is being washed with this beautiful light from Te Rā, from the sun, from the stars. And then coming up into your knees, unwrapping the knees, and the knees open out. And as it comes up, they come up into your hips, your thighs open, your hips come out, and your pelvis really feels the fullness of this medicine, the fullness of this anchoring the light into the dark. And coming up into your sacred womb and feeling this whaha that is wrapped around her. But this whaha will not be removed. This whaha will stay with you for 3 days. You will let yourself be energetically or physically wrapped, your womb wrapped to honor this experience. And slowly you breathe in and feel your wings are still tied into your heart, protecting your heart. And slowly they unwrap from your shoulders and your elbows, and you slowly start to unwind and unwrap as your arms come down onto the earth, and you feel Te Rā bringing the sun through to your heart. And as they start to move up into your face and your head and your crown and your eyes, you perhaps may not be feeling quite ready to come out, and just staying here, feeling that perhaps as you are unwrapped, you may have fresh eyes. So just recognizing as you are unwrapped where your eyes may travel and how they feel and what they notice, what they witness, and equally your ears have been wrapped. So they very, very slowly start to unwrap. And you have your eyes and you just start to look up and around, and you can just start to do this now in the physical, looking around your space. And just allow your physical body to move however you feel. You might want to reach up into the sky, spiraling the hands. You may want to just physically feel your body, touching the surface of your body, and giving gratitude to the grandmothers, giving gratitude to the two. And depending on timing, how we're going, because there's been a request from Leanne that I close through a song. I'm open to.
Thank you, B, for such a beautiful, wonderful, warm weaving and wrapping and sharing your wisdom and your medicine. It feels very important just to pause here for a moment and ask if there's any questions for B or contributions from anyone who's just traveled through this journey. We'd love to hear from you. And if you wish to just stay wrapped up and integrate that journey, you're also welcome. It was very beautiful when we were taken to the Temescal. I was taken to the Temescal in Mexico, in Tepoztlan, in the birthplace of Quetzalcoatl, on the land of Marilu Fagaru, where the Guardians of Gaia was actually conceived and birthed from her land.
Mm.
And this feels very significant because we've been on this journey now 2 and 3/4 years of Guardians gatherings, weaving together wisdom keepers from around the world. And the fact that this Temescal, this too, was the one that presented, inspires me to understand that Guardians of Gaia too will be going under an evolution at this time. And I'm very curious what that might be. I'm hoping that eventually Guardians of Gaia will receive the financial support to birth as an independent entity, as she's shown us that she wants to be registered as a charity here in Aotearoa. And I'm excited for that evolution. It feels timely. So very open to what that might look like. And as I offer that to the field, is there anyone else who has any contributions or questions to be? Deep love and gratitude. Perhaps before you close, B, maybe you could let us know how people can contact you and your special offering that you have coming up at this time for those that may wish to journey deeper with you into this work.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for receiving me and all of that. I felt like I was going to speak more about my work with the mothers, but it just took its journey, and I'm grateful for that. So, well, two things. I also wanted to share if anybody would like the link of the Midwifery Project to offer any koha to them at any point to support them to continue their work that they're doing. And then I have a vocal program starting called The Living Voice in April on the pink full moon on the 2nd. And I felt very called to share. I haven't done such a full container online before, but I have had women come to me saying they want to work more with their voice. I feel the voice is such a phenomenal gateway of being able to move energy, regulate, sing our prayers. And I feel like you all in this group, probably more than me, understand the importance of the songs and raising the frequency and also anchoring us into this earth right now to do the work we are here to do. So I will post a link in the WhatsApp group if that feels good. It's going to be 3 months. Of the first month is very foundational vocal practices, anchoring into body. The second month is working with voice as medicine, song as prayer, and then the third is as facilitators and guides, what our unique message is. So it's kind of a little bit of a birthing container to explore how voice can support our work in the world, and for those that are not as confident, to have some tools to keep sharing their message that we so deeply need. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And we'll make sure that you have these links and comments in the YouTube replay that we'll share after this. So thank you very much for joining us and weaving with us and walking with us, B. We're going to hand everyone over to Stephanie Elaine, who has some more wonderful fractals to support integration and continuation of this journey, for we are coming into a deep pause where we're asked to surrender into the unknown, into the not knowing. So something very new and true can be birthed at the highest possible potential, both personally, collectively, and planetary at this time. So we will leave you with Stephanie's fractals and a song for B for closure today. Thank you for journeying with us, everyone.
Mm. Kia ora, Leanne. Thank you for having me here. I'm to sing a song of an opening however that may feel or show up for you. I'm going to trust in the song that wants to allow us to integrate and step forward. Also, there is no rush in our stepping forward in our next iteration of us. So perhaps this is a coming out of the wrapping into the light and into the curiosity and into the opening into the celebration of that whenever you're ready. So feel free to again close down the eyes or gaze out to a natural environment, whatever feels fitting for you to receive this song. Thank you for having me. Deeply honored to be in your field. I feel very, very grateful. Peace of the universe, love of the universe, truth of the universe, joy of the universe. Many blessings to you all. Go out in your own time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kia ora.